Does anyone recognize what this is? This is a batan, a tool my ancestors used to ground seeds, plants, not only for medicinal uses, also for culinary culture. The Peruvian forefathers, they were great architects. They built from the ground up the Machu Picchu. They were also astonishing farmers. They developed biodynamic agriculture using the stars and the position of the planets to guide them through the seasons, to harvest and sow. We inherit from them many techniques and working tools that we use even today. The first variety of potato that was domesticated in the world was 10,000 years ago, before Christ, definitely. And this variety, the name is Jejorani. It's a Quechua word. Jejorani was the first potato, and is this one in the picture. This potato was the same that fought hunger in Europe centuries ago. In recent days, Peruvian cuisine has become one of the most important gastronomy in the world. It's influential and very relevant, and 2 of the 10 spots in the World 50 Best Restaurant rankings belong to my country, Peru. This really makes me very happy, bring me joy, and make me feel proud. However, there are some systematic problems that still make struggle in Peru and represent challenges to overcome. Like 13% of the population, child population, are in the clause of malnourishment, and 40% of the population in Peru are anemic, blood deficiency, iron, lack of iron in the blood. And also, we are the 3rd place in the world in obesity. Sorry, in Latin America, in obesity. These regional numbers, these regional records, hide even more discouraging data, like the 93% of anemia and malnourishment in Caminaca, a region of the high Andes in Puno. In this picture, you can see Emiliana and his daughter Carmen. I met this woman 2 years ago. And yet, 1.3 million kilos of food is wasted every year. This is a picture of the biggest market, local market, food market in Peru, actually, in Lima. It's Santa Anita Market. This market supplies and distributes all the food to restaurant business, hotels, and also supermarkets. All the food and the ingredients and the produce from every region of Peru, from the high Andes, from the Amazonia, from the coast, go to this market, and this market distributes for every restaurant. As you see, those tomatoes looks very good, but for the cosmetic standards of the industry, now we can see these tomatoes in a trash bin. This is a tuber, a root from the high Andes. The name is mashua. The color is amazing, it's natural color. As you can see, maybe this is not the best quality of shape, but still edible. Those bell peppers actually now are in a trash bin, but represent a battle lost, this food waste, a battle lost against the hunger in my country. For this reason, in 2014, we found HORI. HORI is a non-profit organization that creates awareness and develop a lot of research about how to use the whole ingredients. Each of its different parts of the ingredients, what we do is to research how to create food with this. This organization has an ancient name, HORI. That translation is gold, into gold. We have a point of view, very interesting point of view, that is that we don't see the ingredient, the food ingredients, as an ingredient for a recipe. What we thought and what we think now is that the ingredient is actually the recipe itself. And in this way, what we do actually is to deconstruct the ingredient in each of its parts, to study and identify not only the different flavors of the different parts of a food, but also the different nutritional values that is still in every portion of an ingredient. Like this onion, what we do in our lab is to take out every part, to split and deconstruct every part, and apply different culinary techniques to become a delicious food and to create more food with less. Like this. Those is the onion cellulose. This onion cellulose not only looks pretty in a dish, not only is delicious in the taste, also had a lot of iron, and it's very important to identify that because in my country there's a lot of blood deficient. This is kind of a soy sauce, but with not soybean, that we create with the onion peels. We roasted these onion peels, fermented, and then we just let it soak and pass by a sieve and create this soy sauce. We call it soy sauce because it tastes like soy sauce, but it's definitely not because it's only with, you know, with the onion. It's not the fermented bean there. The same we do with one of the most important ingredients in our country. Definitely potato is one of them. But as you know, Peru is the country, is the land of the ceviche. And we use a lot of lemon juice to prepare different dishes and different ceviches and tiraditos in different restaurants around Peru and actually around the world right now. But we only use the 10% of this produce, which is the lemon juice. And the other 90% is thrown in a bin, creating a lot of pollution and missing the opportunity to take out all the nutrients that are in this part of the produce. So one way to use it is to create candied lemons. The sweetener is a natural sweetener, not sugar. And then we fill these lemons with lemon shells. with different other ingredients and toppings to create not only a delicious meal or a nutritional meal, but also to create a strong message that in my country, Peru, we don't want to waste food. And what we do with all this knowledge that we've been researching since 2014, well, what we want to do is to get even to the highest hill, and we go with this message and with this philosophy to the most isolated areas in my country. First of all, in this program that we call Whole Food Kitchens, we train women from soup kitchens with these techniques that use the whole ingredient. Those women represent the most important chefs in Peru, because the women that works in these soup kitchens, these communitary kitchens, feed the people that are in hunger and in malnourishment, not only in the fine dining restaurants. So now, these women have the opportunity to create more food with less, to improve the same budgets and to feed more people with the same budget. Look at those faces. They look very happy, just eating a replacement of a food for cereal or yogurt. Maybe you know as some cereals like Captain Crunch, but in this case, what is this? Is banana peels, like candy banana peels, as a Crujis or as a Captain Crunch version, but zero food waste version. And I want to ask you a question. Have you ever tried banana peel before? No one? Okay. Behind your seats, there is a little bag behind your seats. Maybe not everyone, because I just bring 50 of these bags. If you want, you can go and seek for one of these. Okay. Inside the bag, you're going to find a little piece. Okay. It's just a sneaky peek of a licorice banana peel. Do you hear before licorice? It's a root, but in this case, the flavor is with a little cinnamon, and it's maybe the first time you're taking a banana peel. Now, you taste an ingredient, a part of the ingredient that always go to bins, to trash, that is considered a waste. But now, you're eating 1,000 grams of magnesium and zinc, more even than in the pulp of the banana or the plantains. And also a lot of iron inside that. These are the dishes, the plates, the food that we teach to this woman. This is liver with a lot of iron, of course. This is like a pesto, you know, but what we use is the peels of the green peas to create this pesto. In the green peas, not only in the seeds of the green pea, but in the outside, there's a lot of iron too. But we don't only go to these soup kitchens to teach this knowledge. We also go to isolated areas in prisons. This is Miguel Castro, a prison, to teach the inmates how to use the whole ingredients, because as you imagine, here there is not too much budget for food. And we organized contests. This was last week. We organized a contest to give them joy and to give them the tools that when we go out they can create business and go back to society again. This guy won the first prize in the contest last week. Look at those faces. It's difficult to imagine that these guys are in prison right now. Also, we not only teach about food, we also give them the opportunity to feel free again, the sensation of freedom. This is one of the most important DJs in Peru, and definitely she brings the party there. This was a very beautiful experience. Well, close to my restaurant, there's a poor area called Malambo. It's in Barranco. She's Camucha. Camucha was in prison, and now she works in his community with using gastronomy as a social instrument, but also for making business. She's an entrepreneur. And all the women in Malambo now have like food trucks, and they working using the whole ingredients with this concept we call optimal cuisine, because we optimize the whole ingredient. And of course, the most important thing about this philosophy is education. In this case, for the new generations, we develop workshops for a business university, Pacific University, Universidad del Pacífico, because we want to create awareness about these systemic problematics, not only in the food industry, also in all the industries, because this is the next generation, and they need to know the challenges that we need to overcome in Peru. We visit different local markets, teaching how to, what is the problem, and definitely research and development. We have an alliance with the Universidad de Lima, Lima University. They gave us a lab to research not only the taste of the ingredients, but also how to create more sustainable products. She's Nancy Chasquibol. She worked with us. She's the biochemistry and also a nutritionist. We also exploring ancient edible resources for future. Now in the lab, working with this gradient of different larvae, edible larvae from a palm tree. The chapaja palm tree in the rainforest is a sustainable product with a lot of iron, a lot of amino acids, and it's a very complete ingredient. I mean, this is superfood, but it's a different way to see food. And it's sustainable because this feed not from the bark of the palm tree, so you don't need to cut the palm tree. This larva feeds from the fruit, and it's very, very tasty. It tastes like coconut milk. It's amazing, actually. We prepare different dishes with this ingredient. This is Melvin Amancifuen. Melvin Amancifuen is the leader of his community in the rainforest in the Amazonia. Rumicashpa is the community. There's the batan, the same tool that we use from the ancient days for open the chapaja fruit. The whole family in the community in Rumicashpa, San Martin, rainforest. This day we published our first book, and actually the first book in Latin America that talk about edible insects in gastronomy. I bring 2 copies, and I want to give it to anyone. Well, let me introduce some important people to you. He's Anthony Castro, my sous chef in the organization Hori. Angie, the founder, and also my wife, the founder of the organization. Gonzalo, project manager. And to finish, I just want to tell you about this dream, about this optimal cuisine, because we see the ingredient as a recipe itself. We believe that it's optimal cuisine because we use the whole ingredient. We believe also that this is a way to cook in these modern days to fight against food waste and hunger. Again, Hori is a Quechua word, translate to gold. And we believe Hori is a kind of a map to guide Peru to fight against hunger, to create a better Peru, a Peru without food waste, a Peru without hunger. Thank you so much.